Hey, welcome to Hammer's Renovation. Found something a little fun on Marketplace. Gonna end up being for the grandbabies. So Luke and Elliott, this is what it took. So we found a TrailMaster MID XRS. It's a two-seater. It's got a disc brake on it. It's got adjustable suspension, seat belts, 6.5 horse engine, great candidate for strike hold. Already pulled the clutch cover off. A couple new tires came with it, and the wrong master cylinder. So this cart isn't without its issues. One is master cylinder is frozen. You can see this one's got the hose and the little reservoir up here. This part came with it. Now it's got reservoir on top, which isn't going to be able to be used because of the steering. It's going to be in the way. But we can try and see what's inside of it. Maybe the seals and the shaft would work. When I picked it up, this wheel here had a bit of the stanky leg. It was kind of leaning way out. And I thought, well, maybe they've hit something and bent the spindle. But it turned out this shock here that's adjustable, it had worked itself all the way down. Wouldn't even turn. Sprayed a little bit of that strike hold lubricant on there and it immediately freed up. And I spun it up to the top. Now it's not wiggly. So when we got the cart home off the trailer, Hayden jumped on after firing it up, which the pull rope snapped first shot. But took that apart, threaded it back in, tied a knot. Took a little bit of sandpaper and cleaned up these here, cleaned up in here, so this belt would grab better. Used a little strike hold on the belt there, on the chain. Move a little better. Now this thing wouldn't run great at all. You'd have to keep the choke all the way on. When you brought the choke off, it would die. So it's kind of like it was starving for fuel. And the folks we got it from said they hadn't used it in a year, and they put a little fuel in it so it would fire up. And when I looked in the tank, the fuel was orange. It shouldn't be. Now, we had pumped that fuel out. Not much left in there. So you can see that the fuel is a little more clear, but you can definitely see there has been rust in there. So after putting new fuel in, I pulled off this bolt here and drained that bowl. And a little bit of dirty fuel came out of it. And it ran clear, but still didn't act right. Next thing I did was take this off here. Now this is where when you open the gas valve, it flows through here first. And this had what looked like orange mud in it. Got that out. And things seem to act a little better. Only thing about it though is the fuel wouldn't drip back down in there. I actually had to take the carburetor off. And I put a bolt in the fuel hose to keep from dripping out. And so when I went to put the thing back on, it would never fill up the carburetor, the bowls. So I had to take some air and blow through the line, and I believe there's chunks in the gas tank that's going down into the hose. So we're gonna have to clean the inside of the tank, clean out the hose or replace it and put that back on. Some of the other things I want to do is sand it and paint it. It's a little rusty in spots. Seatbelts are a little dirty. And I can clean them, but they're going to be dirty probably within 10 minutes of the first ride. Rear suspension's good, and this is a live axle. Now the folks at Strike Hold reached out to me and asked if I would like to try out their lubricant. I'd never heard of them. They are used in some military applications. A lot of police departments use them, and they use them to clean their weapons. And they're based out of Duluth, Georgia. So being from Georgia myself, I didn't mind giving them a shot, reviewing it. I've used these on a couple of things around the house here, and I have to say I'm impressed so far. Had to put new wheels on the dryer on the inside, and could not clean the shafts that the new wheels slide on. Put a little strike hold on a rag, and all of that grime wiped right off. It was the easiest thing I've ever done. Used this on a couple of other things. Now, strike hold prevents rust and corrosion, outstanding water resistance, penetrates deeply into metal parts, dries electrical connections, reduces friction, no gummy buildup, and it won't harm rubber, paint, or plastics. So this is, I'm a believer in this here. And now when I go look in my cabinet, I don't have to look for the blue can or the white can. And the smell is pretty good as well. Some of those smells are strong, and you don't want to use them in the house, where I used this in the house and Amy didn't even notice. Take this banjo bolt off here. I'll pull off the reservoir, another 10 millimeter. All right, master cylinder is free. So looking inside here, you can see it's had dirt, water, seized up. So this one would not fit inside there, even though the barrel's the same, mounting location's the same. It's looking like it's 42 millimeter to center and 50 on the outside. So I'm gonna jump on Amazon so I can find one. Found one on Amazon. The mounting holes are oblong, so it says 45 millimeters at center. So that at least let me adjust it some. $13. It'll be here in a couple days. So just a couple of nuts and one bolt. Got the tank off. This line needs to be replaced. Let's look inside. Looks pretty bad in there. I think I'm gonna do the rock thing. Rinse it out and get that rust out of there. So I jumped on Amazon, ordered a couple parts. I'm gonna show you what I got. Grabbed a new carburetor and got a master cylinder with remote reservoir. I'm gonna get them thrown on. I also ordered a fuel tank, and it won't be here for another half a week, and I'm impatient. So I'm gonna do a little something in the meantime. Here's the holes in the gas tank. And here's some epoxy. Let's see if it works. I'll still put the new tank on when it gets here. Let's have a little fun in the meantime. Got equal parts. Let's stir it up. Now we can let that dry. while I install some parts. So I've got the master cylinder in place, and the first issue is this clevis here. This is the one that came off of the original. It's a bit long. I'm going to have to do some cutting and shorten up that bolt. All right, a little Sawzall action. Got it cut off of there. Spray a little of this so these bolts will break apart. Let's put the clevis on. All right, got that piece put on, and we'll put it in place. See if will do it. All right, so that looks like it will work. It's lined right up with the holes there. Just need to jam these together. Got the banjo bolt installed on the back. Now I just got to put the reservoir in the spot where it goes. All right, got the pin in, got the bolt jammed there, got those bolts in. The thing I need to do now is I need to trim this hose here. You can see it's a whole lot longer, and I don't want to have any area for it to trap any bubbles in there. So I'm going to trim that up and then get it mounted. All right, I got some of this trimmed off and slide up clamp, and then we're going to add some brake fluid. We're going to bleed the brakes on the go-kart. Kind of different. Don't know that I've ever bled brakes on a go-kart. Work the bubbles out of it. All right, pump it 3 times and hold it. Don't let up till I tell you. Okay, let up, pump again. All right, looks like we lost about half the fluid in the reservoir. Just top that back off. All right, next up is the carburetor. Get this old gasket here off. There's a little spacer there. There's the new carb. First gasket going to be this one, and then put the spacer on. Grab that one off of there. Let's see which one of these matches that. Like that one. Okay. Slide the carb on. Alright, that is on. And the last gasket. All right, I got everything in the right place. Now it's time to slip this on. All right, I had to get the choke through there, so slide onto the studs. And you got to slide this breather on here. Now let's put these on before we tighten that up. That way everything is pulled together and all the gaskets sealed. Okay. Nice. All right, everything is wrapped up and tight. Put some fuel in there. Seems like my marine epoxy repair is holding. Yeah. Turn on the fuel. Start giving it some pulls. Well, it's running. Let's take it for a test drive, see what it does. New fuel tank has arrived. Comes with a stringer. It's got the same install mounting points. It's got the filter, new cap, new hose. All right, new tank is on. Time to put some fuel in. All right, so now we got to tune this carburetor. It's got a little screw down there to do that. Let's see if we can keep it from shooting flames. So I got the carb tuned, ran better. Couldn't really get any get up and go. So belt was smoking a little. So I flipped the belt over, and 2 pulls, it ran great. I guess it got some, whichever side hadn't been used up. And then this old belt, it chewed the teeth right off. So we're gonna get a belt. Also, the tune runs, the carburetor's tune runs much better. When I put the filter on, it started the flame shooting. So I'm guessing maybe the filter doesn't look dirty, but it must be dirty, because as soon as I took the filter off, the flame spitting stopped. So it's interesting. Maybe I'm just gonna order a new filter as well. All right, let's take this thing on a ride. Kind of messes you up when you panic a little. Got to put that thing on like a tight coat. we're going to add some fog lights to this cart for Luke and Elliott and Tyler. And since this go-kart doesn't have an electrical system, Tyler does have these Rehab batteries, just like I got. It's going to be the switch for the lights. In addition, inside here is a red LED. Actually 6 of them, but we're going to put one red LED light right back here. So I think I'm going to put this unit here where the battery can easily slide in and out. It can be secured to the frame, and the switch is accessible. But I'm going to wait and put that on after I paint it. So I found a good bit of rust under, there were some pads here, and that foam was just holding water. So I had to get the wire wheel out. Now I want to strip this off right here. Have you ever wondered why this is called a cheek poker? That right there. I'm so glad I have my jeans on and that it wasn't tilted towards my face. Alright, got that nose piece cleaned up. I think we're going to go with all black. So the brakes did not work on this thing, and this is the unit that was on there, the caliper. Tried bleeding it a lot of times, and I'd get fluid out, but never any really good pressure, just kind of a dribble. And then when I bought it, the previous owners had tried to get the braking system, but they had the wrong master cylinder, so they already had this unit here. So I just threw it on and bled the brakes out, and it worked. Let's see what it does when I push it. No brake. So that'll be good. Now I know Luke and Elliott won't end up in somebody's fence or in a ditch. All right, it's been some days. Got the frame painted. Nice and black. Now it is time to wire in the lights. All right, got the first light connected in. And this wire is going to run back to the little LEDs. It's going to be on this bar here. Now I'm working on connecting passenger side, and it's going to run down this bar. And I'm going to put that unit in here, the battery and the switch. So I've been trying to figure out a way to support the weight of a big battery, and that's a 4 amp hour. Of course, this is a 2 amp hour, so it's a whole lot smaller. But that way, the switch could be easily done, and the battery could be easily removed. And so this 4 amp hour can go right in. And there's some support here by the collar, the steering wheel. So that'll give it some support. And also use some of this mesh I had left over, zip tied on, just as a place to hold this here. Of course, all those will be cut off. But I just wanted this to be easy to access. I wanted the battery to be supported and easily removed. And if Luke and Elliott put the battery on themselves, they could slide it right in there. All right, so I'm gonna make my final connections here. Then I'm gonna start feeding my wires over to where they meet up here. All right, everything's trimmed up, much neater, very sturdy. I think that's gonna work out fine. All right, all the wiring is roughed in. Now let's flip the switch. All right. Let's check out the red strip in the back. Perfect. Okay. Well, those are going to work good. All right, now just need to put the covering over the pipes. All right, so I took electrical tape and I covered these wires all the way up, across, down to there. I am adding this foam to these bars here, there, and these bars, and across the bottom. But this won't last forever. Electrical tape won't last forever, but at least we'll keep the wires from dangling, just in case this stuff gets torn off. Now this foam covering here is line set insulation. It's for 7/8. And the cool thing is it's got this adhesive. So all you gotta do is peel the adhesive out and press them together, and it sticks. Pretty convenient. Now I took electrical tape and wrapped that foam. That'll stand a better chance of getting the bushes. The little boys climbing in and out. All right, got all that foam, electrical taped up. And now it's slick. Also won't knock their heads on it. And if they do, it won't hurt. I gotta get a couple bolts for that seat adjuster there. And I need to put this CV belt cover back on. Now before I put the cover back over this here, I need to oil that chain again since I pressure washed it. So I'm gonna squirt a little of this strike hold on there, because sure helped it out the last time. All right, it's getting dark. Time for a test ride. Fast forward, choke back. Do a light check. All right, here we go. May have to bleed the brakes again.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
What
is that? You can sit too. There's 2 seats.
That's for Luke and Elliott.
Wow. Guys, that is so cool.
Watch out.
Wow.
Look at that. Y'all have a go-kart.
Oh, this broke a little.